We've all been there, haven't we? Standing at the edge of a new beginning, a new idea, a new version of ourselves. Maybe for you, it's the pair of running shoes sitting by the door still pristine, waiting for that perfect morning to go for a run. Or perhaps it's the empty notebook on your desk, its clean pages silently calling a book a poem, a simple journal entry. You feel the pull, that deep inner knowing that this is something you truly want to do. You can almost taste the feeling of accomplishment, the pride of having taken that step, but something holds you back. A heavy, invisible weight. That weight is the word someday. It's a comfortable, cozy word, isn't it? Someday I'll get in shape. Someday I'll learn that language. Someday I'll start my own business. We wrap ourselves in the blanket of someday. It allows us to keep the dream alive in our minds without ever having to risk bringing it into the messy, unpredictable reality of the world. But that comfort comes at a great cost. It keeps us stationary, dreaming of a destination we never actually move toward. The potential remains just that, potential. The truth is, this hesitation is a universal human experience. It isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you care deeply about the outcome. You want it to be perfect. You want to feel ready, equipped, and completely prepared before you take that first leap. You imagine the finished product, marathon completed, book published, degree earned, and the gap between where you are now and where you want to be feels like a vast, insurmountable chasm. This gap can be so intimidating that it paralyzes us, convincing us that it's safer to just stay where we are, on the familiar side of inaction. But I want you to ask yourself, what if the goal isn't to leap across the entire chasm in one go? What if the goal is simply to take one small, single step forward today? Not tomorrow, not next week. Not when the stars align, but right now, in this very moment. The journey of 1,000 miles, as we know, begins not with a map of the entire route, but with the simple, humble act of putting one foot in front of the other. The weight of someday only has power over us when we allow it to. Today, we can choose to set it down and pick up the lightness of now instead. Why do we wait? Why do we postpone the very things that our hearts are calling us to do? We often tell ourselves clever stories, convincing excuses that sound so logical and responsible. I'm just too busy right now is a popular one. We look at our packed schedules, our endless to-do lists, and we convince ourselves that there isn't a single spare moment to carve out for our dreams. We see our goals as massive time commitments rather than small daily practices. Think about any person you admire, anyone who has achieved something great. Do you think their journey was a straight, uninterrupted line to success? Absolutely not. Every master was once a disaster. Every expert was once a beginner who refused to give up. I remember a young writer I met who was terrified to share her work. For months, she just wrote for herself, convinced her words weren't good enough. One day, she finally gathered the courage to post a short story online. The response was minimal, and one comment was particularly harsh. She was devastated and wanted to delete everything. She felt like a complete failure, but after a few days of letting the sting subside, she did something remarkable. She didn't quit. Instead, she reread the critical comment and tried to find a kernel of truth in it. She realized her character development was a bit weak, so she didn't write a new story. Her next step was much smaller. She simply read a chapter in a book about creating compelling characters. The next week, she tried again, applying what she learned. We live in a culture that, really glorifies the overnight success. We see the dramatic transformations, the viral moments, those quantum leaps, and we start to believe that this is how progress is made. We want to lose 20 pounds in a month, write a novel in a weekend, become fluent in a language in 6 weeks. But honestly, this mindset sets us up for disappointment because it ignores the fundamental law of growth. Real, lasting change is the result of small, consistent actions compounded over time. Success is not built in giant, heroic leaps. It is built brick by brick, day by day, in moments that, often feel insignificant. Consider the person who wants to start running. The thought of running a 5K, let alone a marathon, can feel completely overwhelming. So instead of trying to run for 30 minutes on day one, what if they just committed to putting on their running shoes and walking to the end of their street and back? That's it, a 5-minute action. It seems ridiculously small, almost pointless. But the next day, they do it again. And the day after that. Soon, walking to the end of the street feels easy, so they decide to jog for 1 minute of it. A week later, they jog for 2 minutes. This is the power of a small, repeatable habit. The same principle applies to any goal. Want to become a reader? Don't commit to reading a book a week. Commit to reading 1 page a day. That's it, 1 page. Anyone has time for 1 page. But 1 page a day becomes 365 pages in a year, the length of an entire book. Want to learn to meditate? Don't try to sit in silence for 30 minutes. Start with 1 minute, just 60 seconds of focusing on your breath. These small actions do more than just move you incrementally toward your goal. They rewire your brain and reshape your identity. You are no longer someone who wants to be a runner. You are a runner because you run every day. This is where the magic truly happens. These tiny, almost invisible steps, when practiced with consistency, create momentum. Each small win builds your confidence and makes the next step easier. The initial resistance you felt begins to fade, replaced by a sense of quiet accomplishment. You stop focusing on the massive, distant goal and instead find joy in the daily process. Success is not the destination you arrive at one day. It is the sum of all the small, courageous choices you make along the way, the unseen efforts that no one else witnesses but that ultimately define your journey. So here you are at the end of these words, but at the very beginning of your next chapter. You have a choice to make. You can close this page and allow the familiar comfort of someday to settle back in, letting that dream of yours continue to gather dust on the shelf of your mind. You can let the excuses, the busyness, the fear, the need for perfection win once again. Or you can make a different choice. You can decide that your journey doesn't start tomorrow or next week. It doesn't start when you feel motivated or inspired. It starts right now with one small, imperfect, beautiful action. You don't need a grand plan. You don't need anyone's permission. You just need to give yourself permission to be a beginner. What is the smallest possible step you can take toward your goal today? Not tomorrow, today. If you want to write, open a document and write 1 single sentence. If you want to get fit, do 1 push-up or walk around your room for 2 minutes. If you want to learn an instrument, watch 1 tutorial video. The size of the action does not matter. The simple act of starting is what sends a powerful signal to yourself and to the universe. I am ready. I am moving. Believe in the person you are becoming. The gap between who you are and who you want to be is not as wide as you think. It is bridged by the small steps you take every single day. Your future self, the healthy, accomplished, joyful version of you that you envision, is not created by some massive event in the future. That person is being built right now, in this moment, by the choice you are about to make. Do not wait for confidence to begin. Begin, and confidence will find you along the way. Your potential is not something to be saved for a special occasion. It is meant to be used. It is meant to be explored. It is meant to be expressed today. Your journey is yours alone, and it begins with a single step. What is the one small thing you will do today to begin your journey?